Hi folks, so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to actually focus on the lampshade portion. So we're going to create a lampshade and we're also going to put a bulb into the lampshade as well. And we're going to connect it onto this kind of top part of the gooseneck. Now before we start in the video, I'm just going to bring you over here to the design tree on the left hand side of my screen. And if you notice in the design tree, I have changed from my previous video some of the names here, okay? When you're doing a Leave Cert DCG project, you will have to rename some of your features. So as I went along, I'll just pull the rollback bar, click and grab the blue bar there, and you can pull it up. And what I often do is I pull the rollback bar and I can call it whatever I want. So to rename something, this was a Revolve 1 originally is what it was called. But to rename it, all you do is you click on it and you press the F2 key. And I usually don't get rid of the Revolve 1. So what I do is I go to the start of it and then I type in like lamp base, okay? And then I will move down to the next one and you can see it was the rubber grip. And then I did indent was the next stage and so on. And you can see the stages. So switch, boss, extrude. So that was boss, extrude, but I just called it switch, boss, extrude. Switch handles, which were the two. If I just zoom in here, you can see the two little orange bits kind of coming up there, okay? And that's kind of what I call it. Then it was an indent, that's where I cut it into it, and the ridge outline, and then we had the ridge surface offset, and then we had the ridge thicken, okay? And they're the stages I went through. So just to explain really quickly here, so this one here, boss extrude, this one here at the top, that one there. So what I would do is I would click on it, press F2, and I would rename that feature, and I would say shade support. Okay, shade support, and then this one here, the indent, which is where I indented it into the base. I'm going to say neck indent. So I'll click on it, press F2, and then I would type in neck indent. Perfect. Okay, and that's just renaming your features as you go along. The ones with the arrows and you got the sketch underneath hidden, you don't have to rename sketches. Right. So as I said, what we're going to do in this video is we're going to do the lampshade and we're going to do the bulb inside the lampshade. So I'm just going to bring you out to Google here. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. So I've got two little Google search images done here. The first one is the lampshade. I'm going to use an image to help me draw it. So I typed into my search bar under images, desk lamp, side view, orthographic. So you can see there I typed in that. Now the image I'm going to search for is a good one here. So I could either use this one here, okay, and I think the exact same image is here as well, okay, and I could use either of those. I'm going to go with the kind of, I'm just thinking here, which one will I go with? Yeah, I'll go with this one here. So that's the one. If I click out of it there, it seems to be like, you can see there's like the 6 or 7, it's on the second line. If I click on that, I'm actually going to click into the website, see if the image gives me a better royalty free vector. I'm just going to see if it gives me a better, yeah, that's kind of a better image I'm after clicking on there. Now what I'm going to do is going down to my bottom here, where it says the search bar, I'm going to type in my snipping tool. So if it doesn't automatically come up for you, all you do is you type in snip down here, and then it should come up, okay? Now the snipping tool is a very handy tool. If you click on new, okay, the rectangle version is selected. I'm going to snip out the top portion. And that's all I'm going to use. I'm just going to snip out that little bit there. Okay, I'm going to go to my snip, which is down here. Okay, there's the window for the snip. You can see what I snipped out. And what I want to do is I want to save that. So I'm going to right click on that, save as, and I'm going to save it in. If I go to my desktop here on the left hand side where you created a previous folder, okay, you'll have to navigate to find your folder. I just made a folder called the lamp. And instead of a PNG file, see where it says save as type down here, click on JPG. I just prefer to save it as that, and I'm going to say lampshade. Okay, and click save. Now that image is saved. I'll minimize this. Okay, I'm going to close down that website. Okay, and I'm going to go into my next tab, which was for a bulb. I just typed in light bulb. Now the one I'm going to go for is this one here. Okay, I'm going to try and make something to this effect. We won't do all the detail on the inside, but we'll do the bit at the bottom and the glass section at the top. So that's a good enough size image. So I'll get my snip tool down here again and click on new. I want to get a new snip, and just make sure you get an evenly spaced one. You don't want to be all the way out here like this or missing out on any portions. You want an evenly enough spaced one, both at the top and bottom and left and right. So about there. Click into my snip tool. Right click on that, save as, and navigate to your folder, desktop, get your lamp folder, instead of PNG. Watch when I change to JPG, the images will come up. Okay, I had a previous one of the lamp, and now I'm going to call it light bulb. Okay, and click save. And there we go. Now I can close down my snip tool, leave those open. That's absolutely fine. And now we're going to use that to start sketching. So if I just show you my planes here, if I select each one, you'll see here, even if I actually turn them on, just click on show here. Now I've got 3 planes. You can see this one down here. That is the top plane. That's not appropriate for my lampshade up here, up around here. So I'm going to hide that one. And the front plane, if I show you that one, now I want to be drawing the side profile. So that's not looking at the side of it when I'm looking in this direction. So the front plane isn't appropriate. And the next one is the right plane, and the right plane will show the side profile. Okay, so that's the one I want to start my sketch on. So I'll hide that there, but just showing you that for kind of demonstration purposes. So I want to start a sketch on the right plane. So if I click right plane and click sketch, it's going to bring us into a sketch. Now we're in a sketch. What I want to do is I want to bring in that image that I'm just after saving in here to help me draw the lampshade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the top section where it says File, Edit, View, and so on. I'm going to click on the word Tools, and I'm going to go all the way down, and I'm going to find the icon that says Sketch Tools. And then when I have that active, I'm going to go into that and go down near the bottom, and you'll see this thing that says Sketch Picture. Really handy tool. Click on that. It's going to bring you to your folder. Well, it might not act straight away bring you to your folder. Mine does. But if yours is, let's say, whatever it is, somewhere down here, it doesn't matter. And then you go desktop, and then navigate your folder, find it wherever it is. If yours is in a 50 or SolidWorks or whatever folder you've saved, navigate to the lamp, and the one I want is the lampshade. Click on that and click open. Now when I click on this, it might take a second. You can see there it comes in really, really big. It's far too big for, actually looking at that, that's pretty close. That's kind of what I want there. It's probably a little bit big, so straight away I'm going to scale it down just a little bit until I think, yeah, I think that size, I'm going to touch bigger. Just scale it up to whatever you think is appropriate, okay? So I think that's about right there. Now the only thing I want to do is I want to alter the angle. So see how this line here, I want that to be almost parallel with that line there, if that makes sense. So what I can do is you can see here the degree. I can up the degree. No, it's going up in the wrong direction. So I might have to move this lamp a little bit until I get it. See there, I'm trying to just get those parallel. And I'll just keep going down one by one until I think maybe one more degree. I think even one more, 352 for me maybe. 351. We'll even try 350. Yeah, I think 350 is pretty much bang on. Now that's kind of what I want there, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the lamp a little bit closer, because the line I'm going to work off is this one here. Imagine this kind of section there wasn't there, this section, and we've kind of built this section already. So I'm going to try and imagine I'm working off that line there. I want it really close, not on it, close enough. Zoom in there so I can see it a little bit better. So that's the line, and you can see there'll be a little bit of a gap. If you imagine that line was running along there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that now. And I'll just center it now. Have it in the right place. A little bit of a gap. Yeah, quite happy with that. And there we go. When I have my lampshade in position, click on the green tick to accept. And that's the image we're going to use. Now, with that image, actually, sorry, to reactivate the image, all I'm going to do is I'm going to double click it. And where it says transparency here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on full image. And I'm going to change the transparency to something like, see here, transparency, full image, change this here to like 0.6. And what it'll do is it'll just kind of blend it in with the background a little bit more, just make it easier for us to sketch it. And then click on the green tick, either here or here. Okay, now we're going to start sketching. We're still in our sketch, but we've got an image to help us with now. Okay, now the tool we're going to use here is a revolve tool. And we're going to just basically sketch in half the profile and spin it around. Okay, very much like we did at the start here. So I'm going to start off by getting a center line first of all. So grabbing a line, or about a center line, and imagine now I'm going to go up here to where roughly the top of that is there and bring it all the way down to here. So you have to roughly kind of guess it, and you'd have to have a good line. So about there, and I want it to go to about there. Now, first thing we're going to do with that line is we're going to make it parallel with this edge. Okay, so click on the blue line and then hold down Control, CTRL bottom left of your keyboard and select this edge here and then make them parallel. That's the first thing, and then we will dimension that. Sketch, Smart Dimension, select the top point, select your origin, click the vertical height, accept it for what it is, do not change the dimension, and then I'm going to click on the top point again, select your origin and come downwards, and we want the horizontal distance. You can do the horizontal distance like that. I'm just going to pull it down. Accept that, and you can see here it's going from blue to black, and now we're going to do this one as well. I'll actually just dimension it horizontal or this way here. So I'm going to say 170. I'll do it. Right, we're fully defined there. Now we kind of have to draw in half our image. So to do that, I'm going to start off with a line. And I'm going to start off by doing, actually I'll start with a circle. I'm going to get a circle. I'm going to click somewhere about here on the line. And I'm going to click up to this point there at the top. Now all I'm going to do with that circle is to make it big enough, I want it to go out to here. I'm going to grab the center and pull it down. See the way I can do that? Pull it down. And what's helpful about that is I can watch the arc here until it ends up on this. So grab the center, and when you have it in roughly the right place, I think about there is appropriate. I'm going to sketch in Smart Dimension. And obviously, depending on the image that you bring in, guys, your dimensions might be slightly different to me and how you scaled it up, okay? So obviously, just go with what you think is appropriate here. So mine is saying 60.9, so I'm just going to see what 60 looks like first of all. Yeah, I think 60 is pretty much fine there. I'll actually even say 61, I think, in this case. Diameter 61. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to get another center line. So sketch, line, and I'm going to do a center line from here. You'll see here, grab the side of it onto it there. See that center line there? Now I want to make that center line perpendicular to this one. So all I'm going to do is click on this center line, hold down Control, select on this center line, and select the perpendicular relation. There we go, fully defined. Now I've got a point that I can work from to get the line down here. Now I'm going to get a line again. Click on this line, come down about as far as here. And all we're going to do with that line is make it parallel. So using relations rather than dimensions is very helpful. Click on the line, hold down Control, select the center line, parallel. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dimension the distance. Click on the line, drag it up, go down this way actually. I'm going to say 52, 51.88. I'll use round numbers if I can. And now what we're going to do is we are going to get an arc that's going from here down to here. So I'm going to get a 3-point arc. I'll actually get a center line first. Sorry, I'll do a center line first. So get a center line, and we're going to get a center line and do it from here down to about here. I'm going to click on that center line, hold down Control, select this line, and I'm going to click perpendicular just to make sure it's exactly perpendicular. And then I'm going to dimension the distance of that center line. Click on it, drag out. I'm saying 72.45, so I will go 72.5. Okay. And now I want to do a 3-point arc from this point here to this point here. So sketch, 3-point arc is in the middle, click the drop down arrow, 3-point arc, and now I want to do an arc, just put it in here, from this point to this point, click, and then you can change the size of the arc as you need to. So when you have it roughly in place there, click. Okay, and all I'll do with that arc is I'll dimension it, click on it, 123.82. So I'll say 124. Perfect. Okay, fully defined. And now what we're going to do is we're going to trim away some bits now that we don't need. So sketch, trim entities. I'm going to trim away this bit here. And the bit inside here, I don't need either. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to create, so I'm going to go sketch, I'm going to get a line. I'm going to go up here, starting at this point up here, click. Sorry, get my line again. Accidentally convert it into an arc, click. I want to do a line to about there maybe. Then I'm going to come down perpendicular. I'm roughly guessing the distances here now. I'm just thinking, I may end up doing another line in a minute to there, and I'll go to about here. I'll go to about here, I'll bring it beyond it. Now we're roughly guessing the distance here. Sketch, smart dimension. I'm actually, sorry, before I do that, I'm going to get another line. I'm actually going to make, I'm just thinking here. There we go. I think from about here. I'll actually do it from about here, I think. Yeah. From about there. I'm going to do a line down like that. Now that line there, okay, I'm going to smart dimension it. First of all, click on the line, hold down control, click on this line, make them parallel. And then I'll smart dimension between the two of them. Click and get the distance between the two. And look, it's saying 9.93, so I'm going to go 10. Obviously, once again, whatever works for you the best. Okay. Do the same thing on this side. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this line, hold down control, click on this line, make them parallel. Click on this line, hold down control, click on this line, make it parallel. Probably was already, but I'm just doing it to be sure. Click on sketch, click on smart dimension. I'm going to smart dimension between this line and this line. And I'm going to say it is 30. And then I'm going to click on this line and this line and get the gap between the two of them there. And I'm going to say 4. Okay. We won't mention the length of this one just yet. Now what we're going to do is, I actually want to create a space inside here because we're going to actually do these ridges on the lampshade in a while. We'll do a little circular pattern. I want to create a little hollow inside here. So to do that little hollow, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to go sketch. I'm going to use an offset entities here now. So click on offset entities and I'm going to set the distance just at the back of it to only about 2 mil. Okay, and all I want to do is I want to click on this arc here. Now, don't worry about all the rest that comes in on the outside. We're only going to use a little portion of it, but I'm going to click on reverse and it'll go on the inside. See the way it went on the inside there? And this is the bit that I actually just really want here. Just that bit there. So I'm just thinking, is there actually a better way I can do this? Yeah, actually, sorry, I won't use offset for this part. Apologies. What I will do is I'll just get another circle. And I'll go into the center point here, draw a circle like this. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to smart dimension that circle. And I'll click on the space between the two circles. So click, and you can see the way I can get the dimension between the two. And I'm going to send that to 2 millimeters. And now I will trim into these. So I'll get rid of this bit, get rid of that bit in there. I'm going to get rid of this bit here. And I just have to be smart now about what I'm deleting here. I think I'm getting rid of that bit. Yeah. And I'm getting rid of, see this little line here? I'm getting rid of that little guy there. Okay. Yeah, that's right so far. So you can see here what I have. I've kind of got a little section there. So it's quite complex here now. Got a hollow in here. And then, yeah, all that's fine. And now we're going to do an arc inside here. So what I'm going to do here is, once again, this time we will use the offset entities. So press escape to deactivate your trim. And we're going to use offset entities. I'm going to set the distance. Yeah, I'll go with 2 millimeters. I think I'll actually stick with the 2 millimeters the whole way around. I think that's more appropriate. So where it says 4 millimeters here, I'm actually going to change that dimension. I'm going to change that to 2. Okay, happy with that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go offset entities, sketch, offset entities. This may select the whole thing. 2 millimeters is the distance, but I just want to select the arc here. Okay, and it has straight away come on the inside, which is where I want it. Okay, and it seems to be meeting there. It's giving me the whole thing. I don't really want that because I have lines over lines. Yeah, I won't use the offset entities here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually just do another 3-point arc rather than that. So I'm going to click on this 3-point arc. I'm going to just start about here, roughly here. Click, try and make sure there's no relation. See the way there's a line coming over there? I'm going to click about here. I'm going to come down to about here. All I'm going to do with that is click. Something like that there. Now, What I will do is I'll make them concentric. So if I click on this one, hold down Control and click on this arc, and hopefully they'll give me a concentric relation. There we go. That's probably the easiest way, I think, actually to do it there. Okay, and now they're concentric, so basically it means that they're kind of like parallel arcs. So I'm going to go Sketch, I'm going to get a line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a line from there to there, and then I'm going to trim off. You can see the excess here. Sketch, trim entities, trim that bit off, and you can see the area is fully closed now, okay? So that is quite a little complex sketch there, all right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go Sketch Smart Dimension. I just have to dimension between the two arcs. So I'm going to click here, and it's 3.26. I want that to be 2. There we go. Perfect. That is absolutely perfect there. Now, having done all that, we can now revolve or feature to create the lampshade part. So now I'm going to go Features, Revolve Boss Base, and all I'm going to do for axis of revolution, I'm going to select this line here or this line, doesn't really matter. I'm going to select this one. And there we go. I'm going to untick merge result. I want it to be its own entity. I'm going to untick merge result, and I'm going to click on the green arrow to accept. And there we go. And you can see here, there is our lampshade. Okay, quite complex. But if I turn on my section tool here, this is a really handy view. See where it says section view up here? If you click on that, and over here on the left hand side, instead of with saying front plane, which is this one, I'm going to click on this one, which is, sorry, the third one in, which is the right plane, and click on the green arrow just to accept. You'll see what we have done here is that's looking like we've taken a slice through it. But notice how we've got the little hollow in here. Okay, and the reason I want the hollow is because I'd like the holes, when we cut them in later, to actually go through it and we'll see through the piece. Okay, that's a really, really handy tool there. All right, so I'm going to turn off my section view. There's that little part done. And the next thing we're going to focus on is how we connect these two here. All right. And what we're going to use is a split line. Now, what we're going to do here to do that, I'm just thinking the best surface to sketch on is probably this one. I'm going to turn on my hidden detail view, which is the fourth one. And I need to select that surface in there. You can see, I'll go into my color view. See that surface we're selecting? So what I want to do is I'm going to click on that surface. I'm going to click on Sketch. And obviously you can see I need hidden detail view to see it. Now this is quite complex. It's the outside ridge there. Let's see if I just turn on the fourth one actually. We want to, sorry. Yeah, that one's probably a little bit better. Okay, see that outside circle there? That is the outside ridge of it. Okay, that's the one we're going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Sketch, and I'm going to get a center line. And I'm going to do a center line from the left hand side. You can see out here we can get the little node there onto the other little yellow guy over to here. Now what's helpful about that line, sorry, I should have made that line a construction line. If you click on the line, and for construction, that will become a center line then. Now I accidentally selected line there, apologies. So there's the line that we're going to use, and all I really want is the center point, that point in there. That's why it's helpful. Now I'm going to go to Sketch. I'm going to get this guy here, which is a center point straight lot. If you click the drop down arrow, make sure the one you select is a center point straight slot. So click on that, and then we go into the center point here. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a line like this, and you can see the way it'll go both ways, but I want it to go perfectly vertical. And I'm going to go just a little bit bigger than the circle. A little bit bigger. Click, and then look, we want to make it a little bit wider. Now you can see how big it does get. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little bit, not too much bigger. Probably a little bit big, even long. Now, something like that, I'm going to go Sketch, Smart Dimension. First thing I'm going to do, the width of it I'm quite happy with, so I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to make mine, I'll say 12.5. And now the length of it is a little bit too long. So this is 23, I'll see what 20 looks like, and then we'll work our way down. Probably a little bit big still. We'll go 18. Yeah, we'll go a little bit smaller again. We'll go 16. Sorry there, mistake on my dimensioning. Yeah, I'm just going to see what that looks like. Have a little look around, how that goes into it. I think I can even go a touch smaller again. We'll go 50. So often with this, you're just kind of working with the rough estimates when you're obviously not working off exact dimensions. Now there's our sketch. You can see it here floating in the midair. Now what we want to do with that sketch is we're going to split line it onto this surface here and then thicken it downwards, okay, like we've done previously. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Features tab, go over here to the Curves and select Split Line. The current sketch is active, but all we're going to do, and I'll go into the color mode now that I've done my sketch, okay, all we're going to do, the current sketch is active, we're going to select the surface, see where it says single direction, click onto this surface, and just realized we may have to go back over this, apologies. If I click single direction, it may come through the other side. Projection sketch does not split the selected faces. Oh yeah, sorry, reverse direction. My arrow is pointing the wrong way, and then click the green arrow. Yeah, okay. Sorry, apologies there, guys. We're going to do the exact same thing, but I did it on the wrong surface there. So I may actually have to set up a plane here. Apologies for that. And do it downwards, okay, just to make sure it goes to the right thing, because I did not want it to come out the opposite side. That's a mistake by me, so I'm going to delete my split line. Okay, click yes. Unfortunately, I'm going to delete my sketch. Click yes. So I'm going to set up a plane. Apologies there now. So to do this, I'm going to go Features, Reference Geometry, Plane, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this guy here, that surface, and you can see the way it goes inside it. Now I want it to go a little bit more, so I'm going to set the plane at 20 millimeters. I think I'll even go, I'll go 30, see what that looks. Yeah, about to the middle there. So there we go, there's the plane, it's gone into the middle of the object. Click the green arrow to accept. Plane is in the middle. Now obviously it's inside it, but don't worry about that. All I'm going to do is I'll even hide it as well. I just need it to sketch on. So click on plane 1, click on sketch. Now we're going to follow the exact same steps. Go into the line view, get a center line, and do a center line from there to there. And then I'm going to get the center point straight slot, go into the center point of that line, line up, line out, sketch, smart dimension. I'm going to make this 12.5 radius, which is a 25 diameter, and I think this line I had was 15. There we go. And all I'm going to do now is go back into my color mode. The sketch is in the middle, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do that split line. So go Features, Curves, Split Line. The current sketch is active, and now that it's in the middle of the object, I'm going to click on the face to select. That's the one I wanted to go through. Click on single direction, and you can see the arrow is pointing down. If you wanted it to go the opposite way, you point the arrow up, but I don't want it to go the opposite way. I want it to go downwards. So I'll reverse my direction there, make sure the arrow is pointing down, click on the green arrow to accept, and you can see it just does it on the one side. So you can see why I had to use that plane. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a surface out of that and thicken it down. So you see here in surfaces, thicken is not active to me because I don't have any surface yet. So to create a surface, I'll click on offset surface. I'm going to set my distance to 0. And then I'm going to select this guy here and click the green arrow to accept. That is now a surface. Now I'm going to go into surfaces and I'm going to go thicken. And then I'm going to select this guy here. Now you can see here 10 millimeters is way too big straight away. So I'm going to start off with maybe 5. Let's see what that looks like. That looks like it's going into it the right amount. We'll see what 4 is. We only want this to be exactly. And looks like 4 just about works. I'm happy because I don't want to thicken it down too much. I'm going to set that as 4. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to untick auto select. And I want this thicken to be a part of this guy here, not the actual lampshade. Okay. And I'm just thinking here now. Will I thicken it both ways? I might thicken it both sides. This is really handy here. So what this will do is it will thicken it both going downwards and upwards. And if I thicken it both ways, technically it's going to thicken in and we might be able to indent it in. So I'll click on this guy. So untick auto select, click on this guy because I only want this thicken to be part of the neck, and click on the green arrow to accept. Okay, you can see here, we've got a kind of nice little ridge feature here now, and you can see it actually goes into it. So if I click on this guy, right click on this guy and click on isolate, you can see it's a lot thicker than it actually is showing because it's going into the object, if that makes sense. And I'll put on my hidden detail view there, see the way it's going in? And because it's part of this guy, we can now indent that into this body here, because they're separate bodies. Okay, before I do that, all I'm going to do is I'll see if I can actually use a fillet. So if I click on features, and we go to fillet and select fillet, I'm going to set fillet to about 3 mil, and I'll see if I can select the outside ridge here. There we go, giving it a nice rounded edge. Click on the green arrow to accept. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go select here. So search commands, we're going to indent that in. So type in indent. And what we're going to do is the target body is this guy, the lampshade, and the tool body is the neck. Click on the neck. This might take a second because there's lots of detail in the neck here. You just have to wait. So by all means, skip forward in the video until this happens. There we go. Click on cut, and you can see that I cut it into it, and click the green arrow to accept. There we go. Now if I right click on the lampshade, you'll see that we have a little hole for that to go into. Now, I probably went in a little bit too much there, but I'm not too worried about that because if we don't see that, that's absolutely fine. I just wanted them to merge. Okay, you can see it's kind of, yeah, it has gone in there a little bit. Probably should have left the original guy at 4, I'm just thinking. Yeah, I might actually try and fix that now there. So the easiest way to hopefully fix that, hopefully you don't run into issues here, if you go back to our original revolve, okay, click on the arrow beside it. This is a good thing to learn. We'll click on sketch 13, edit sketch. I'll see if I can change this dimension here. See where it says 2? I'm going to double click that. I'm going to change that to maybe 4. Hopefully this doesn't mess up anything. I'll even bring it up to 5. Okay, click on the green arrow to accept. I'm sorry, and then exit the sketch. We'll see if we run into issues here now. And now if I right click on this guy and click isolate, there you go. Very handy way, okay, and it's after fixing the object there and it's not protruding through it there, which is really helpful to us. So exit isolate. Okay, fantastic. So there we have it. Now while I'm at it, I'm really quickly going to rename some of these features. So click on revolve, F2. So I'm going to say shade revolve. Plane you don't have to rename. Indent, or sorry, this was the split line. So I'm going to say, I think I had something here, neck detail, neck indent, shade support. So I'm going to say shade support 2 is what I'll call it. Shade support 2 split line, surface offset. So I'm just going to say support 2. And then thicken, support 2 thicken. And then, and I'm going to call this shade indent. Okay, there we go. And you can see there we've got the shade. Now, next thing we have to focus on in this video is we're going to focus on a light bulb. Right, so very similar like we brought in a sketch picture for the shade, we're going to do the same thing with the light bulb that we've previously saved at the start of this video. So we're going to do the light bulb once again on the right plane. So I'm going to click up here to the right plane and click sketch. And what I want to do is bring in an image. But can I turn on my section view here? I'll just see. If I click on section view, yeah, it came in right plane. Click on the green arrow to accept. We're still in a sketch, but I need to see inside of where I'm going to position the bulb now. Okay, and you can see the detail here of that bit, how it's kind of cut into it there. So I'm going to go up to my tools, select sketch tools, and then I'm going to select sketch picture, and I'm going to get the bulb. Bring in the bulb, click open. Now the bulb will come in vertically upright, so I have to first of all, before I do anything, scale it down, bring it over here, and then you can see here it has to be obviously inverted. So you've got these different tools here, so I'm going to click on this one. It'll flip it over, and now I'm going to have to change up the angle. So I'm just going to keep this held. I'm going to pop it in there. Now sometimes that happens. I'm going to keep changing the angle until I get it into a position that I'm happy with. I might scale it up actually. Imagine it goes in something like that. So you can see here how we're doing this, and I think the angle is actually okay, 146 for me. I'm just going to scale up the picture slightly. And for some reason it keeps going, jumping out. So around there. I don't want the bulb to protrude, so it's going to be staying hidden inside it. And it's probably a touch too big actually, so make it a bit smaller. Scaling it the wrong way here. and then I think about to there. Put a little ridge. Now I'm just using this for reference. Now the next thing you have to do is just make sure that you have the same gaps in either side, because you want it almost correctly aligned in there, so we're happy with that. Click on the green arrow to accept. Next thing I'm going to do is, sorry, forgot to do this, click on the image, click on transparency, full image, set it to like 0.6. Okay, click on the green arrow to accept, and what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to turn on, sorry, my hidden detail view. Just find it easier to work in that kind of one. I'm only using this as a guide, okay? I know there's a bit gone in here, but I can roughly imagine what it's going to look like. So to start this, we're going to do this very similar. I'm going to go sketch. I'm going to get a center line. If I can grab, see the midpoint there, very helpful. I'm going to click on that point there, and I'm going to come down to where I imagine the top of the bulb is around here. And same thing, I'm going to sketch, smart dimension. I'm going to click on the line. I'm going to make it 145. And straight away, I'm going to click on that line and hold down control and select this line here, I think is appropriate. See that line there, this line, make them parallel. Okay, now that line is fully defined. Now we can work from this bulb. So to start off, I'm going to work on the neck part, or this part of it first inside here. So I'm going to click on sketch, click on line, and the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to make this, I'm going to click here, I'm going to go about as far as here. You can see the way it's going like this, then it's going to go something like that. Then I'm just going to go back as far as I can to about there, and we'll worry about all this stuff in a minute. Something like that. Now I think I'm accidentally putting relations and things on it here. And I'll leave it like that for a second. So first things first, I think it's already perpendicular. You can see the symbol there, but if you click on it and it wasn't for you, click on this line, hold down control, click on the center line, make perpendicular. Likewise with this one, you could click on this line here, hold down control, click on this line, and then hold down control and click on this line. You can make all of them parallel. I think they are already. And this line here has a vertical relation. Accidentally put that in. So I'm actually going to click on that and click delete. See the way I got rid of the vertical relation there? And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to smart dimension. So first of all, click on this line, click on the point at the end of the line, and that's going to say 46.3. So I'm just going to say 46. And then I'm going to click on this line, and I'm going to make it, we'll go with 16. Click on this line. I'm going to say 4.5. So obviously, once again, guys, whatever image you brought in, how you scaled it up, you'll come up with your own appropriate measurements for this. So next one here, I'm going to click on this line and this line. Actually, sorry, I'll click on the angle between them. Click on this, and I'm going to make it 145. So it probably would be vertical. And then I will click on this line into this line, and I'm going to make it 14. Then I'm going to click on this line, and I'm going to make it 27. And the last little bit here, click on this point, click on the line to get the gap between them. We'll go with 9. Okay, and then I'll click on this point and this point. I'm just trying to think here how I'll do this one. Actually, sorry, I'm not going to press escape there. I'm going to click on this point, click on this point. I'm going to set that to 8. Okay, and I'm happy with that now. And now the last bit to do, I'm going to get a 3-point arc. And all I'm going to do is click on this point. See the point there? Click on the line here roughly. I'm going to do a little, you can see here, it's a tiny arc there like that. Now, all I want to do with that arc is I'm going to click on the arc. So you can see I found the center point here. You can move the center point as you need to. Okay, so click on the center point, hold down control and select this line here and make it coincident. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to smart dimension. I'm going to click on the point here, click on this guy, and I'm going to set the distance there to 5.5. There we go. Okay, now the next bit I'm going to do is I'm going to get a line. I'm going to close that from here all the way down to here. So there's like the kind of bottom part, the metal part. Now we're going to focus on the bulb part, the glass part. So to get the glass part, I'm going to get a circle. I'm going to go and click on the center line, click onto the top point here. And now to get the circle the right kind of, I suppose, dimension here, I'm going to grab the center point, click and hold, and pull it backwards until I think it ends up on it. I'm just using it as a guide. So about there, around there, and then I'm going to have an arc going in here in a second. So I'm going to smart dimension that one first of all, straight away. And that's saying 72.5, so I'll accept that. Just making it exactly a round number. Now I want an arc going in here. So I'm going to get you can do arcs or you can do circles. I'll actually use a 3-point arc this time. Now I'm going to start about here. I'm going to come out to about there. And then just roughly make it the right shape. Click. And then I'm going to do the exact same. I'm going to click on 3-point arc. And I'm going to go here like this. I'm not going to touch it onto it yet. Something like that. Now what I want to do is I want to make this arc tangential with this arc. So I'll click on this guy, hold down Control, click on this one, tangent. Okay, so now that they're touching, I'm going to bring in this arc. Actually, sorry, before I do that, click on this arc, hold down Control, click on this arc, tangent as well. And the first thing I will do is I'm going to dimension now this point to this point. I'm going to go Sketch, Smart Dimension, click, click. I want that gap between them there. See that distance there? I'm going to set that to be 0.5 is very small. I'm going to go 0.75. Bring it in a little bit. So there's a little ridge there. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to move this guy. You can see I can put it back onto the shape of it there. They're all tangents. I'm going to smart dimension this arc now. That's saying 14, so I'm going to go with 14. I'll just click on this point here. Click on this line. I'm going to accept that for whatever it is. Just accept it. 6.24, it's saying for me. And now this arc here, I think it needs to come in a little bit. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go Trim Entities, Sketch, Trim Entities, slice away that bit. And then now I'm going to go and see if I can pull it in slightly. Yeah, in there now. Something about that. I'm going to go Smart Dimension. I'm happy with that. Don't worry that it's not exactly on it. We're just using it as a guide. I'm going to say 52. Okay. And now I have a little bit of Trim Entities to do. So Sketch, Trim Entities, slice away this bit, slice away this. And there is our kind of rough outline of our bulb. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use Offset Entities this time. So click on Sketch, select Offset Entities. I only want it to be about 1 mil. The glass is very thin. I'm going to click on this guy. And you can see the way the arc came on the outside. I do not want it to be on the outside. I want it to be on the inside. So I'm going to select Reverse. Now if it comes up on the inside for you, that's absolutely fine. You don't have to select Reverse. Click the green arrow to accept. There we go. Now, the only thing I'll have to do with that arc is I'll have to extend this down to here, and I'll have to close it down here. So click on Sketch, click on Line. I'll close this one first, so I'll just do a line from there to there. And now, what I want to do is I want to extend that down, or just do a line. Click on a line. I'm actually just going to, yeah, I'll just go on. You can see it kind of gives you a guide to follow. Click there to there. That's perfect. Now, I need to make all this one sketch. See the way it's gray here, but it's not gray inside here. So what I want to do is I want to trim away this bit inside here. So Sketch, Trim Entities, delete that bit there. We're fully defined. There's our sketch, looking great. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make the bulb. Okay, so we're going to go Features, Revolve Boss Base. This time, untick Merge Result because I don't want the bulb to be part of the shade. I want it to be separate. Untick Merge Results. The axis is going to be this line here. And our bulb is created there. Click on the green arrow to accept. Go into the color mode. The bulb is done, but obviously you can see it inside here, and you can see where it's going into the object. We're going to indent that now in a while, okay? But the bulb is done. I'll go into turn off my section view, and you can see the bulb. Now if I right click on the bulb and click isolate, that's what the bulb looks like. Okay, now the last thing we're going to do, we're going to stay in our isolate situation here. We're going to add some threads around the bulb. So if I just go back in here, the way we'd have like these kind of threads, I'm going to put those in. Really handy way of doing threads here. So we need the plane that's going through the middle of it, which is the right plane again. So select right plane and sketch. We're sketching in an isolated state here now. If I exit isolate, everything else will come back. But all I'm going to do is, having sketched in the right plane, because the right plane is going through the middle of the bulb. Okay, so I'm going to press space bar and click on this one here, right. All I'm going to do is I'm going to click on sketch, click the line tool, and I'm going to start a line right here in the center point. See this line here? See the little yellow dot? I'm not going to go right to the end, but I'm going to go to about here. Press escape to deactivate your tool. I'm going to smart dimension that line, and I'm going to make it 25. And the only thing I will do with that line is I'm going to click on the line, hold down Control, click on this edge here, and make it perpendicular. And that's fully defined. Now, to do those threads, we're now going to exit the sketch. The sketch is in there. If I go onto my hidden detail view, you'll see the sketch there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another sketch on the right plane. Click right plane, click sketch. I'm going to get a circle. Sketch icon circle, and I'm going to do a circle down here. So click on this edge here, see that line there, and click to this point right here. Okay, now that circle is far too big at the moment for a thread, so I'm going to go smart dimension. I'm going to set it to, we'll see what 2 looks like. Yeah, I think 2 millimeters is perfect, it's appropriate. And now I'm going to exit that sketch. Now we've got 2 sketches. We're going to use the line as a guide, and we're going to use the circle to kind of twist around. So to do that, I'm going to go into my color mode now. The 2 sketches are there, they're just hard to see. Actually, I'll leave it in the, I will leave it in the hidden detail view. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go features, swept boss base, and for the sketch profile, which is the shape I wanted to follow, is the circle. The path I wanted to follow, which is this one here, is the line, but they're not connected. What I need to do now is I want that to spin around. So to do that, I'm going to go down here. It's a bit of an advanced feature here. You go into options. Follow path is fine under profile orientation, but for profile twist where it says none, you're going to change from none to specify twist value. And then after specify twist value where it says twist control, instead of degrees, you're going to select revolutions. And all we're going to do here is where it says 0. Watch what happens when I click the arrows here on the right hand side. When you click up, 1, twist, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can set as many as you want, but obviously we're not going to have that many threads. I think about 4 or 5. I'll go with 5 in this case. Now, you can see mine worked out pretty much perfect there based on my dimensions, okay? I'm happy with that, but what I need to do now is I only want these threads to be part of the bulb. So I need merge result is fine, but untick auto select and then select any part of the bulb, and those threads will just be part of the bulb, that bulb body. Click on the green arrow. Okay, now let's say you made a mistake with your dimensions and that kind of was overlapping this bit here. So all you would have to do there, and I'll go back into my display style, you can see the threads on it, how it looks, okay. All you would have to do there is we'll go down here to the sweep. You've got 2 sketches. You've got the circle sketch, which is fine, but then you've got the line sketch. You would have to change the dimension here and make it smaller. Instead of 25, we'll bring it down to 24. I'm going to show you what mine would look like. So I'll click on sketch 17, click edit sketch. Let's say I did 24. Notice how it drops down. If I did 23, notice how it drops down even further. Okay, now 25 worked about right for me. Okay, so I was happy with that. So I'm going to leave it on 25. But obviously, as you're modeling, guys, you obviously, depending on what image you brought in, the exact size, it may be slightly different. Okay, so I'll exit the sketch there now. Now, there's my threads. I'm now going to exit the isolate. Now, we can't see the threads because they're inside it, but if I turn on the hidden detail view, they're in there. But, and this is the last bit before we save this video, if I click on the lampshade, right click on it and click isolate, there's no hole for it to go into. So in reality, we probably would need a hole for that to thread into. So once again, we're going to use the indent tool. So I'll exit my isolate. I'm going to type an indent. It's already here. Click on the search bar, click on indent. Target body this time is the shade. The tool body we're going to use to cut. We're going to use the bulb to cut into that. So click on the bulb and then click on cut. Your distance here is 0, and you can see the part where it's going to cut into it. Click the green arrow to accept. There's our little cut. Now if I right click on the shade and click isolate, you can see the hole has gone into it. Really, really handy tool. Exit isolate. Now that only works because we've been creating multiple bodies up here. Now just before I finish the video, I'm going to rename some of my features here. So here's the revolve. So that one is just very easily light bulb. Revolve. And this one, really easy, threads, light bulb threads, that's fine, and then bulb indent. I'm saying bulb indent. Okay, so there we have it. Now, just really quickly here, you can see here, if I just go up to my solid bodies folder, if I click on this, I've got 6 bodies now. If I click on each one, you'll see they'll come in on our screen here. There's one, there's the switch one, there's the base, there's the neck, there's the bulb, and there's the shade. Okay, and we can use the bodies to cut into each other with that indent tool. Okay, so there you have it, folks. That there is pretty much the lamp nearly finished. All we're going to do in the next video is we're going to add on a little cord and a little plug socket as well. Really basic. Okay, hope you found that helpful. All right.